Hello and welcome to this video, and I'll be giving you my top 12 for Slovenia's EMA 2025. A disclaimer. Israel shouldn't be allowed to participate at the Eurovision Song Contest 2025. The shortest and simplest reason being that I find the actions of the Israeli government to be abhorrent and their broadcaster isn't a separate entity. My reasons in their entirety, however, are numerous and too detailed for a disclaimer like this, but videos closely aligning with my point of view are listed in the description. I encourage you to watch those videos and do something. Further resources are added as and when they become relevant. I'll stop addressing this when it no longer needs to be addressed. I have got a little context or explanation for this video if you'd like it up here in the corner about its lateness or quality, but if you don't want to watch it, don't. It doesn't matter that much anyway. But Slovenia has been a very powerful country for me at Eurovision. I truly got into Eurovision in 2022 and they were immediately my number one. Came dead last. Didn't care. Love LPS. They mentioned them being last at Eurovision, I think for the first time potentially like yesterday on Instagram. Joining in on a trend. But yeah, I've now fallen so deeply with Slovenian music. Joker Out were obviously my number one the following year then, because I found out who they were through LPS in June 2022 even, and it's just been a slippery slope since. Raven was also in my top 10, and I love Slovene. The language is just fascinating to me. There's not many great resources to learn it, but I'm kind of on the way there. I'm not doing loads, but I do understand quite a bit. That does mean there's always pressure on Slovenia, whether they have a national final or not. This year they have a national final, which suggests to me that RTV SLO, the Slovenian broadcaster, wasn't particularly confident that any of these songs are of a high enough quality to definitely be the one to send to Basel. That's what it sounds like. Maybe they've got a different reason to bring back EMA, but I'm excited about the national final, to be honest. It means more Slovenian songs to listen to, and I like that. I had heard before any of the songs were released of July Jones. A lot of people are excited about her entry and her going. She participated in EMA 2022 at least, maybe other years as well. I wouldn't know that, but there's a lot of Eurovision fans who are really excited about her. She did lose to LPS somehow though. I haven't watched EMA 2022, so I don't know exactly how it went down, but it's fascinating to me that so many Eurovision fans love July Jones and don't particularly love LPS, but they had won EMA. And then I also know about Clemens Laconia, who is going only under Clemen for this national final. I know him from hosting EMA multiple times, from his iconic 25 years of Slovenia at Eurovision. If you haven't seen that, I really recommend it because it's really impressive. I don't know how they had the effort and energy to pull that all off as a team. And also his song about Putin has 57 million views on YouTube, which sounded like a lot to me, especially for Slovenia. Slovenia as a country has 2 million people living there. And I was like, okay, let's compare it to something. So I compared it to the Eurovision channel, the official YouTube Eurovision channel. There are 7 videos which have more than 57 million views on that channel, and this Putin song is on Clemens' own channel. 5 of them are winners, and then there's Uno by Little Big, which is confusingly popular. I don't get the full hype behind it. And also Ale something, I don't know, France from like 2011. Something around that. That also has just more than 57 million views. Everything else on the Eurovision channel individually has less than 57 million views. So there's a lot of people who know who he is, even if they don't know who he is. And to be honest, knowing who he is potentially ruined his song for me. But more about that once I get to the song. I will give you my top 12 then. In my 12th spot is Grace by Trine, which the song is okay. It sounds a little bit Disney Channel-ish to me, which is usually a good thing for me. But what I don't get, and I don't know, tell me if I've just misunderstood the lyrics correctly, but I don't know. I don't know if I've understood the lyrics correctly, but it sounds to me like it's just fighting between women because of a guy. I might be wrong about that, but it really put me off of the song, and the song as a whole is fine, but it's also in English, which I don't love from Slovenia. So, yeah, I've put it last. In my 11th spot is Divya by Sven, which is definitely intriguing. It's folky and it's experimental. Unfortunately, it's not mine kind of experimental, but I really appreciate it for being different. It does feel a bit like there's a first half and a second half, and not much is happening within each of the halves. Like, maybe it's not dynamic enough, but I like it. It's pretty, and it's fine. It's just not really my kind of music. In the 10th spot, for me, is Niti by Eva Pavil. That was fine. It's pretty. It's okay. But I did check out for like half of it, which isn't a great sign. I don't know if I was just in the wrong moment of listening to too many songs, but I guess it's chill, and it's got a bit of a Festival Kingo's guitar at the end, but I don't have much to say about the song because I did kind of check out, and that's not a good sign for the song. I do really try actively to listen to these songs, but it does happen every now and then that I kind of check out, and maybe if I gave it a proper listen it'd be higher, but unfortunately it's in 10th spot for now. My 9th spot is Kind by Polar Ace, and I really love the message. I really, really do. I think this message is almost impossible to deliver well in a song, though, and especially if it's in English. I think it would have helped if the song was in Slovene. It's a little bit of like a Disney ballad. It's nice enough. I do like it. But, yeah, I don't know how to deliver this message, and I don't think that you can, really, in a great way. In my 8th spot is Ciao by Anna, which was nice. I enjoyed it because it's in Slovene. It's got a bouncy instrumental, and it's fun that she says like Joker and Batman. There's clearly a lyrical theme going on. That's nice. There's a synthy violin thing as well. But to me, it's kind of got Solo by Blanca vibes, and that unfortunately puts me off of anything. I don't hate Blanca. I just really cannot get past the fact that Jan didn't go to Eurovision, so Solo just brings up bad memories to me. But both vibe-wise and lyrics-wise, it seems, if I've understood enough Slovene correctly. And it's got a nice mix-up in the second pre-chorus as well. Feels like it's dancey. There probably will be a dance break for this. It's nice. In my 7th spot is New Religion by July Jones. Sorry, I don't love it that much. It's fine, but it's in English. And I'm sure July will be delivering a great stage show, and then maybe I could change my mind. I'm not saying I won't. It's got a slow opening though, which I didn't expect, but then it is a girly bop after all. It reminds me of the opposite of Paparazzi by Lady Gaga, basically, which is fascinating, and it's cool. It's just not really a song for me. In my 6th spot is How Much Time Do We Have Left by Clemen. And this is what I mean. I know him as a comedian, and I think it's wonderful to express things important to you in a song. My brain can't quite flip the switch, though. I don't think we should be categorizing people as just one thing, and that's the only thing you can ever be. I was also surprised that the song is in English, but his English is great, so he's allowed to sing it in English, obviously. I, for some reason, thought Clemen would be singing Slovene, though. But it's a really pretty ballad. It's done really well. It's a way of processing something that's probably quite traumatic, if not at least sad to him and his wife and his son. And I get that. And it's really a lovely ballad, and it's pretty catchy for a ballad too. It's a really well done ballad. I just, for some reason, my stupid brain can't really move past the fact that I see him as a comedian, so it doesn't really make sense in my head, and I'm so sorry about that, Clemen. I also think this is as serious a song as you can get, basically, and the lyrics are nice, and the whole song is nice, but it's also difficult to do a song like this well, especially within the context of something like Eurovision. On its own, as a standalone, absolutely. But I'm just thinking, what will the stage show be? Because photos? Maybe? Maybe just like darkness? But I'm struggling to come up with a staging concept. I hope Clemen has a great idea. I trust that he does. He's got way loads of experience performing. But it is really difficult to do, and especially for men, I think, because men aren't allowed to show their emotions in society. So I think this is going to be a really tough sell, and I wish Clement all the best with it, sincerely, because I do like it as a ballad. It's just really difficult to sell in the context of EMA or Eurovision. So I'm curious to see how it will go. But I did also enjoy the other songs more as songs, unfortunately. In my 5th spot is Frederick's Dead by Rai, or Rai, I don't know. I find it a little bit funny that there's a band in Slovenia called the same thing as Italian broadcaster. There's also a place in Amsterdam called Rai as well. Those 3 letters show up way too much. But the start was really promising of the song. I really thought I'm going to love it. And then it just kept repeating itself. It didn't really do anything new throughout the whole song, which was a bit sad. Don't give all your tricks away at the start. I really thought it reminded me, it's like rock and cabaret and circus-ish in that realm, and I thought it's going to be like something off of a Fever You Can't Sweat Out just in 2025, but it's not. It's not a Fever You Can't Sweat Out 20 years later. It's a bit too repetitive for that, but it's fun. I like the sound in general, obviously, because it's still my number 4, but I had gone into the song after it had started with a lot higher expectations than what I did end up getting. That was my 5th spot. And in my 4th spot is Touché by Astrid and Scandals, which sounds like British garage punk, maybe? I don't know if I'm completely off base with that. Also a little bit like Aperture. But there's a bit of sass in here. And because it sounds indie, it doesn't really sound like Eurovision. Not necessarily a bad thing. Sometimes we need surprising things to mix things up. And I do really like the sound of this. The bridge also made me laugh. It's a well done bridge. It's a cool song. It's really cool. The instrumental is really cool. But I'm not quite sure that it is something that should be going to Eurovision. I'd love to be proven wrong once again. But it doesn't really sound like Eurovision to me. In my 3rd spot, potentially controversially, is Ooh by Kiki. Which, if I've understood correctly, has very fascinating lyrics. I'm not sure that I have understood it correctly because I have not translated anything. If the broadcaster isn't going to translate anything, I'm not going to go out of my way to find it either. On these first listens to the studio version, once it's selected for Eurovision, yeah, duh. But I've got like 300-400 national final songs to listen to across the season between, like, depending on the year, October and March. So I'm not going to be translating every single song. But here, if I have understood everything correctly, there's lyrics such as "Smile while you're dreaming" and "The world is better like this, rich and blind." That's what I've understood. If so, fascinating lyrics. The song overall is also kind of experimental. It's got a tense opening, then it does have a bit of a traditional sound. It's interesting for sure. I was also impressed by this bridge, and it's fun. I like it. I enjoyed all, but I think that might be a controversial opinion. I don't know, I haven't looked at the community rankings yet. In my 2nd spot is Pusti da Gori from Jan Videc, which is also nice. It's almost a country rockish sound, which is interesting to me. There's also maybe a little bit of sass in this. I'm not sure. It does have a nice slow bridge, and it's a good song to me. I like the song, also because it's in Slovene probably. But this sounds like a Eurovision non-qualifier as well. I love it. I like it. I really do. But it doesn't sound like something that would be qualifying at Eurovision, unfortunately. My winner is Useti Dam from Jon Vitejic. John, I don't know. But I really quite like the song. This is the only song of this national final that I was immediately upon the first listen. I was like, yes, this is something I could be downloading. It's in Slovene, which is great for me. I understood quite a bit. It's got a good opening. It's got a pretty gritty pop sound to it almost. And it's interesting. There's synthy sounds and it's Slovene. I like it. It's the song I like the most out of this lineup. It's, yeah, the kind of stuff that I tend to like, and it's in Slovene, which definitely helps it. I don't know why, but this language just has drawn me in and it will not let go. Let's have a look at the actual community rankings now, though. 12 12th spot is Jean Videt, my 2nd spot. 11th spot is Polar Ice. 10th spot is Rai. 9th spot is Clement, that's sad. 8th spot is Sven. 7th spot is Kiki. That's higher up than I expected for it. I thought All would be one of the last songs. 6th spot is Trine. 5th spot is Astrid and the Scandals. 4th spot is Eva Pavil. 3rd spot is Jon John Vitejic. 2nd spot is Anna. And 1st spot is July Jones. Ciao is 2nd. Yeah, that makes sense for Eurovision fans. What's the point distribution like? Oh, Jeanne is definitely last. Then there's only really a true jump for the top 4, I'd argue. So Eva Pavil with, I've forgotten what the song's called, Niti, the one I kind of checked out of, is 4th. Would quite secure spot in 4th. Jon Vitejic, I really should find out if it's John or Jon, is pretty much on par with Anna, so Ciao and Useti Dam are very similar, and July Jones, New Religion, is by far and away in the lead. That's kind of expected with Eurovision fans. It's kind of what I thought would happen. But I'm glad to see that Useti Dam, I'm not going to say his name because I don't know how it's pronounced, but then the song Useti Dam is also pretty far up. I'd really like that to go to Eurovision for Slovenia. It would pretty much guarantee Slovenia a spot in my top 10, probably even top 5. Again, not saying that July Jones can't achieve that, but it's definitely easier if the song's in Slovene, in my eyes. I'm also curious to see what Clemens' staging will be for how much time we have, because that is going to be really a hard sell. But I'm excited that Slovenia's doing a national final again. It's being hosted by Raven and Strass. Raven, we all know from Eurovision 2024, obviously, Veronica. I also have heard of her before I saw her singing in a cave, Ava Maria, before she was at Eurovision. Wished her also srećno na Euroviziju. And she said chvala, so she heard it. But Strass, if you don't know much about Slovenia, because I've fallen deep, is the lead singer of Murphy. I'd say he's the lead singer. I hope I'm right about that. I like quite a few of Murphy's songs. I don't follow them nearly as closely as Joker or LPS or even Jet Black Diamonds, but Murphy is cool. He's got this like fluffy green guitar. It's really unique looking. He seems funny as well. Yeah, also a bit of a character, but I'm excited to see those two hosting, honestly. I'm gonna love watching EMA, especially because it's gonna be in Slovene. Yeah. I'm excited about watching Slovenia's national final, truly. But that would be the case no matter what the songs were, to be honest. But I'm hoping that Useti Dam can go, but I'm not gonna be devastated if it doesn't, because we still have yet to see the live shows. The disco box performances were interesting. I don't think anybody was comfortable with that, to be honest. But yeah, I was basing this ranking on listening to the studio versions that are on the website of RTV SLO 365, whatever on earth, not those 30-second clips, because I think those 30-second clips are distracting and they didn't necessarily want to do them. I don't know. Yeah. Those are my thoughts on the songs for EMA 2025 for Slovenia's national final this year. Please do leave your thoughts down in the comments below. I'm curious to hear what other people have got to say, especially because I am definitely biased towards Slovenia at this point. So please do let me know what you think down in the comments below. And remember to literally like the video if you liked watching it. Share it with someone else you think might enjoy watching the video as well. And if you'd like to subscribe to the channel for more Eurovision 2025 and beyond content. But thank you ever so much just for watching the video itself, though. That's a great help as it is. I really do hope that you enjoyed it. That got something out of it. I'll see you next one that shows up on your feed. Bye! It's a long one. It's pretty grey in here. Am I filming? I am filming.